Hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That is Dan. And we welcome to the studio the band Camino.
Hey.
Woo. 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 Sorry, that's a shit woo.
And the crowd goes mild.
That's pretty good.
A great woo.
That's a good line. I like that. The crowd goes mild.
The crowd goes mild.
It's nice to see the three of you, meet you. Thank you for being here.
What's up? We're stoked to be here.
Well, thanks for, again, you haven't fucking offered me a Capri Sun yet. I've just assumed that I'm going to get one.
We're just going to see how this goes.
You're going to tempt me?
Yeah, well, we're going to see. Yeah,
You're going to lure me?
We've been making Capri Suns kind of a thing, and we haven't gotten the sponsorship yet, so we've been bringing them around. We did a show at a radio station yesterday, and the station brought us Capri Suns because they knew, we were just drinking them on stage on tour last year, and it kind of became a thing. So
really? Do you get hydrated from them?
Sure.
Yeah,
they got the monk fruit now, so it's it's less
calories,
sugar.
It's great.
Sick.
So you're regifting these from one radio show to another.
In a way.
No. Yeah.
It's fine.
Possibly.
It's not the first time I've been regifted something. The fact that I'm getting gifted anything at all is appreciated.
There's 10 pouches, so I feel like if we each drink, 2.5 or so, we can crush this whole pack.
Okay, sick. That's a challenge?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm down for that. Yeah. We're going to talk about an album that's very much about heartbreak, so let's
have some Capri Sun while we're doing it.
Yeah, what's better than, sticking a straw in a pouch and sipping one down?
Exactly, yeah.
Sick. Thanks. God, I'm not going to lie. I'm fucking, my head is everywhere and anywhere, but it was in your album this morning in a way that did make me feel something and maybe almost threw off my day because I am going through my own version of heartbreak.
Okay.
Accepting heartbreak. Accepting, loss a little bit.
Okay.
And then setting boundaries. But this body of work really does tell a story that is, it is about losing someone that matters the most to you. Is that off?
Definitely not. I love that you kind of started with accepting heartbreak because the album's called The Dark, and the first song was called that we wrote that we kind of framed the album around without really even knowing it at the time. Is called Afraid of the Dark. So then the album's called The Dark, the tour is called Screaming in the Dark, and kind of the quote that we've been coming back to for the theme of this whole tour is maybe you have to get to know the dark to appreciate the light. So it's kind of about what you said, accepting heartbreak, accepting the dark, kind of embracing it and realizing that it's there so that you can appreciate the light, which can sound kind of cheesy, but also it's real. So
that's genuinely what I'm hoping for because it's rather painful in the law. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You definitely know what I mean.
Yeah. I was going through a breakup last year when we were writing a lot of the album, so I feel like the heartbreak will fuel a lot of songs, a lot of creativity. How
long between things actually happening to studio do you wait? Are you instantly creating once you're feeling stuff?
Probably different for all of us. I think for this instance, definitely not right away for me. But I know there's been certain songs that we've written in the moment, right after stuff happens. But for me, I can't really get it out for a second because I don't. It feels like when you're, an artist full time and then you're actually going through something, it feels kind of I'm gonna turn some. I feel like I'm just using something that hurts so much or mattered so much to just get a song out of it. It feels kind of cheap at first, and then after when you're finally okay, wait, I need to actually get this feeling out, then you can. For me, at least. Yeah. What about y'all?
Yeah,
I'll be talking. I had too much Celsius, so I'm gonna have another one.
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, catharsis is the word that I always think of. It's just using something like that to. As your own personal, your own form of therapy, essentially. It's just writing stuff down always helps to get all your thoughts in order and be able to look at them on a piece of paper or on, something electronic, whatever you use personally. But it definitely helps to put it all out there and see it and then find a way to start letting go of it.
What am I missing? Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
My fault.
No. What am I missing? It hit me in a really deep way. Is that the realization that something is off?
Yeah, well, for me it's kind of when you know that you shouldn't be missing them anymore and you still are because it's ingrained into your soul, and you're like, I'm so annoyed that I'm still caught up on this, but I am, and just being like, what am I missing you for? I don't know, but I am. It's like that kind of, I don't know, phase where you just want to be over it and you're not.
You got it.
Do you want a Capri Sun now, or?
Yeah, do you want one now?
Yeah, pass one over. Yeah. So chuck it. You can. Yeah, they're pouches.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's a great catch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of concerns there.
Damn. By the way, we'd love for Capri Sun to be a sponsor of you guys. This is really good placement for them.
Here we go.
Yeah, they didn't ask.
Yeah. Let me get that one.
We're all, I don't know. It brings you back. We're what's the flavor we had yesterday? Pacific Cooler.
Pacific Cooler.
Pacific Cooler is probably the one, but with a fruit punch, that's what we got today. So.
That's good. Strawberry kiwi is definitely the worst. I was hoping it wasn't going to be that. So
We got you.
fruit punch is good.
We wouldn't do that to you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Capri Sun.
All right, let's do this.
You guys are from one of my favorite cities on planet Earth. I love Memphis.
It's
my
Let's go.
fucking favorite.
Have you spent time there?
So much time.
Really?
Weirdly.
That's so weird because like most people haven't.
No, I know. We were on the radio on WHBQ for, I don't know. How long you think, Dan? 8 years?
Yeah, about 8.
Yeah. Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we were on like every day, every night. And then I would come to town for the Delta Fair.
Yeah.
That's where we played our first show.
Yep.
No way.
Our first ever show was
I
at
know
Delta
that
Fair.
stage. Do you like
But
the
we
stage?
played the tiny one, like not the one that like.
The radio station would do a concert there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little bitty tent.
We played for like 8 people, and half of them were our family. So
Yeah.
it was good.
Literally, and we didn't have any. We had 2 original songs at the time. This
What
was
were they?
2015.
Free of charge.
Free of charge,
And
maybe young, maybe for a while, maybe just 2.
I don't think we had for a while.
So probably 2 original songs, and then we covered like the most random array of songs. We covered like Bad Sons, and we covered Mumford & Sons, a lot of Sons.
A lot of Sons, yeah.
And like the Killers and like 1975. We were just covering like Kings of Leon. It was just like mostly a cover set plus the 2 songs that we had written so far.
But a year later, you end up creating a record called 214 that ends up being one of your most streamed records.
Somehow. Yeah. So that show was in September of 2015 was the first show we ever played. And we ended up being Garrison until 2018. So this was like early days. We had, me and Spencer had met in college at University of Memphis. We both were like born and raised in Memphis. And we went to Panama City Beach for spring break my sophomore year of college. And we basically, did what you do and
get
plastered.
Yeah.
That's when you can still drink on the beach there too.
Yeah.
So
You
they
can't
definitely
anymore?
Oh no.
Oh wow.
Last time I checked.
Oh no.
Last time I checked.
In Panama City, yeah.
Which
And
is just like the shitty place you go for spring break that's
Yeah.
like just debaucherous and sinful. So
The PCB.
yeah, we sinned.
We sent it, yeah.
We sent it and we sinned.
It was sent.
But yeah, then we got back and we're like, we could just start. Maybe we can figure out some way to finagle like a career off of like drinking together.
So music became the outlet.
Yeah, we're like, how can we? No. So I mean, yeah, honestly. Basically,
Painting us in a very interesting light.
I know. I'm just here for cheap laughs.
Aren't we all?
So we got back to Memphis and we had actually been playing in like other bands together, just like cover bands, and like there was like a cool little music scene in Memphis at the time.
Which, by the way, cool. There's one of the most historic music scenes in Memphis to ever exist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Right? Like Elvis obviously is there, but like it's the rise of like rock and roll.
Yeah, it's the the Stax Museum and
Crazy.
Isaac Hayes and all
And that
stuff.
studio, right?
Yeah.
With is it
Sun Records.
Sun
Yeah.
Studios,
Sun
yeah.
Studios, Sun Records. Sun
Fucking
Studios.
amazing.
Yeah, the history that comes out of Memphis is crazy, and it's weird being from there because I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, I think a lot of people still think that it's like this music town of like a lot of music coming out of it, and there is as far as like talent and musicianship, like the best players in the world, like the most incredible like piano players, bass players, gospel musicians, and all this different stuff that comes out of Memphis. But there's not a lot of artistry that actually comes out of there now because it's so historical. It's every studio is it's not like it's like, oh, we have this gear that Elvis used, or we have this gear that like BB King recorded on. It's like, well, we might need some new stuff because like, but it's tough because obviously we want to preserve that stuff and we want people to be able to come in and see it, but it's like, it's hard because a lot of the studios are just more like museums at this point than like operating rooms that like new music is coming out of.
Yeah, the modern day music scene is not coming out of Memphis. It's historically established the music scene for everyone else to take and run with.
Definitely. Yeah. Which is so funny because at the time they were the new thing in their own time.
Oh, totally.
Like, they were the hot, young, cool thing. And yeah, part of it is you just have to, it needs a little more acceptance of the new, doing new stuff.
How do you get to this record though? So how do you get to 214? Like where is that born from?
We wrote that the fall of 2015. Right, it was like one of the first 4 or 5 songs we wrote. So we had like 2 songs maybe at that first show, and then over the course of that fall, we wrote that first EP that was called My Thoughts on You, and that came out April 1st of 2016. So that was like our first release. And I don't remember, 214 just kind of like came together from a bunch of, obviously we were like super inspired by 1975 and 2015. They had just come out with like their debut album a couple years before, and you can obviously hear the inspiration. Everyone compares 214 to Chocolate, which was definitely like, we were like huge fans. I mean, we still are, but we were huge fans at the time of 1975, and so you can hear it in that song for sure. That's definitely our most inspired song by them. So, and I think we, for a while, even for that first EP, we were trying so hard to be like the bands that we liked, like Kings of Leon and 1975 and Killers, and like, and then we kind of found our own sound through, imitating our heroes.
What era do you think you really found it and knew it and owned it?
I think somewhere around like the like Know Me, and what was one before that?
Like when we first kind of moved to Nashville and started kind of.
Definitely around that time.
Who really knows? Like, who even knows if we know it now? But we're just like still making stuff that we just like, and But I think it's definitely evolved throughout the years of I think someone said that you find, I think maybe Ed Sheeran, someone super successful, has a quote where they're like, you discover yourself by like failing to be like your heroes.
Totally.
Which is so cool.
Well, so like what part of 214, even though it does sound like Chocolate or whatever, and I totally understand that, but what part of that is genuine to you? Because the story is still yours, no?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, I don't even know kind of where. I just remember that song came from like, I don't know. It was more of like not even a lyrical, like it wasn't some deep thought. It wasn't like I'm trying to say this. It was like I just want to feel this, and it was like mostly just that keyboard, the plucks, the keyboard stabs, and then the lyrics just kind of fell into place, and then it just became more of a jam. And then the lyrics were honestly like, this feels good, this sounds good, maybe. And we recorded that in a friend's attic in Arkansas.
Sick.
Yeah. So, and that was like, we did like a whole, I mean, obviously new bands, you do a Kickstart, you try to like do all this money, and we did all these like little shows to try to raise album or EP funding show and all this stuff. And then, paid some dude to like, who had a studio in his attic in Arkansas. We're like, we know one guy who knows how to record, because we didn't know a single person in the music industry. We didn't know a single producer or anything. We were like, we know this one guy. He knows how to run Pro Tools. He has an attic with a studio.
He's got guitar pedals.
He has
and
guitar
stuff,
pedals. He has plugins. We're like, this is crazy.
Plugin. He's like, I remember so specifically that he was talking about having gotten a brand new plugin, and it was like 11 to 7. It was like the most used plugin by any producer ever. It's like the 1176, which is like a classic compressor. But we were just like, I have no idea what that is or what that does, but that sounds so cool, man.
Why do you think that song ended up hitting?
We talk about that all the time because we almost re-recorded it at one point, and it's short. it's like dancey, it's fun, it's like easy listening, I think. And it was our first song on our first EP, and it's our most streamed song, which like a lot of that has to do with like the radio algorithm has like always fucked with it. It's always just like it gets so many streams just from the Spotify rate. Like if you play a similar artist, like it plays 214 like almost. If it's gonna play any of our songs just based on the radio, 214 just comes on. It's short, it's easy, I don't know, and it's been out for a long time. So it is crazy though, because when we moved to Nashville, well, before we moved to Nashville, we were like re-recording stuff because we'd all like, you know, is it dove? Is it divin? Is it dived? We'd all dived in. We've all
dove in.
Dove in.
We all dove in.
Makes sense.
We all had dived in to production. We'd all divin in to.
Yeah.
It's definitely dove.
It's dove for sure.
You could have told me this from the jump. Dove. So I was fishing for this. We dove into, you know, sonics and recording and making music that we, you know, wanted, trying to figure out how to make stuff sound like it's supposed to sound. And we almost re-recorded it because we were like, we can record this better. We can, because if you listen to it, it's like, it just kind of sounds shitty. But honestly, then we were like, wait, I think because it sounds like, you know, there's this innocence to it. So we didn't record it and we left it up, and then it.
That's a good way to put it.
Kept going.
Innocence, definitely.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing in it, you know. I think people can feel that maybe, and there's some relatability there maybe, I don't know.
Because of the success of that song and not going back to record it, do you guys still kind of follow that today when you're making music, or you try to make it as perfect as you can?
Definitely both. It's hard. You can go.
No, it's I don't know. It is hard because you want it to sonically be incredible and you want it to be respected by people who work in your industry, and it is hard sometimes to toe that line because
it's hard to make stuff sound shitty because when you're like care about it, I think we reference all this stuff that like sounds more raw, and then when we get done with our stuff, we're like, wait, but fix that. Wait, but fix that, and then it's like,
yeah, you want to polish it.
Yeah.
Why was the right first single "Told You So"?
I think it was one of the first songs that we wrote and we knew was going to be on the record, and we just felt like it fit the energy that we were trying to give with all the following tracks. It just kind of gives like it fits sort of the name of the album, which is The Dark. It's a little heavier, it's a little more aggressive, and it kind of takes a specific tone, like with lyrically, it kind of gives like it tells a different story than I think we've told in the past, which is like, you know, that instead of it always being like a more introspective thing, and it is saying how we feel, but it's more like, I told you I worked so hard and now you're showing back up and you want me back and all of these things. And so you're kind of you're moving the blame away from yourself a little bit and accepting that maybe it doesn't have to always be your fault.
Oof. So your process starts in some guy's attic in Arkansas. How did that song, like, where are you and who comes in with that story? Like, how does that begin? And do you jam or do you start with like something you want to get off your chest?
It's kind of different every time, but it's weird, the evolution and kind of the shift between early days of a band and then nowadays of a band, because when you first start a band, you just have like your bandmates and a dream. You don't have any fans, you don't have any songs, so all you can really do is just jam. So it's like a lot of jamming at the beginning and like writing songs and bringing songs to each other. And then, you know, flash forward. See, I always do this. Is it flash forward or fast forward?
I think it's
it
fast
can be,
forward.
I think it's fast forward for sure, but can you also say flash forward? Maybe.
I think you just
probably.
did, so.
Okay.
I like it.
So, flash forward 8 years. And we all kind of know how to run sessions and we know how to demo songs, and Garrison's an amazing producer, and like now a lot of songs come when you have an idea, like, oh, let's record this right now at the house and get it demoed so we get the idea down. So then we have all these songs that we've written that we've never actually jammed. So then we're like, oh, we need to set up and jam all these songs and figure out which ones we want to record and how we're going to play them in the studio and how we want to play them live. So it's like completely 180 from how it starts, which for this record specifically, we tried to get back to like we wrote a lot of the songs in studios and in sessions, but then when we went, before we picked before we nailed down the track listing, we took like a ton of songs in and just like played them and just set up a rehearsal space, because it was like, this is what we need to feel how it's going to come across with like guitars in your hands.
Yeah, it inevitably changes, what's going to happen in the studio. Because if you do pre-production days where, we have these songs written, but what if Spencer comes in with this way, like, oh, what if we did the bridge like this, because he didn't, maybe he wasn't feeling the bridge on this song. What if we tried it like this? And it just allows us to open up a lot more options for how we record the songs. And so I feel like having pre-production days is definitely, it takes you back to the garage band moment in your life where it's like, okay, cool. Like we're a band making the tunes together. No matter what the lyrical content is, we're figuring it out together. And through that, lyrical changes happen, and chord progressions change and beats change. And so I don't know, it allows you to kind of feel like, oh, we're back in the garage, time. But it's just a little more professional, if you want to call it that.
Why'd you guys wait so long before your debut album?
We put out 3 EPs.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Nashville in 2018, and we started putting out some singles that ended up being on the Try Hard EP, and then we signed with Elektra Records in 2019. So then Try Hard was like our 3rd EP, which came out right after we signed, and then we immediately started working on the full length, which came out a year later, and 2 years later. Because we toured basically all 2019, and then we put out, then we started working on the self-titled right as COVID started. Yeah. So it was like, once the world shut down, we just went into studio mode, and we made that album over like the course of that next year.
So it wasn't really like waiting wasn't strategic, right?
No, it just took us that long to make it. Honestly, we weren't really. We were definitely. I mean, we feel like we had a lot of time because of COVID, and I think we did. We weren't in a hurry to put it out while we weren't touring.
Yeah.
So we took as much time as we kind of could. We booked a studio in Texas for a month and went down there and recorded, and brought it back to Nashville and kind of kept working on it, but. We definitely weren't like, oh, we need to get this done right now, because it's like, we've always been a live band, and we were playing shows and doing little tours and stuff in the van before we even like had music out. A lot of like, it's always been live show driven. So we're kind of like, we want to hopefully put this out when we can play shows again, maybe. So.
Do you believe your business still operates the same way?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sick.
We have it's an interesting mix of like the rooms that we do versus the streaming that we do and stuff like that. We're just like, we have always put the live show first, and it's definitely our band and business has like, it's just kept trending that way, maybe because we started like that from the jump, but I don't know.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of live performances on YouTube. It seems like your fans really enjoy those.
We did a whole live thing of this album, and we're just putting out like the live versions as we go, and we did it for the last album too, I guess.
Yep.
Just in studio kind of live rehearsal takes.
This may sound like a dumb question, but is it hard to make the recording sound like a live version? Because why do people like the live version so much? Is it hard to kind of make that into the actual version? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Totally. No, it definitely makes sense.
I feel like whenever we do like the live takes in a room, like the ones coming out for the new record, first of all, like vocally, it's not always like, perfectly timed or perfectly whatever, like it's not studio perfect. So the goal is to like, try and just capture what we're doing in the room. That goes for everybody, not just vocally, but specifically from a production standpoint. I think the biggest difference from a live performance versus the record is, yes, they're both genuine, but when you do the live performance thing, like you capture that individual moment. You have no opportunity to comp it. You have no opportunity, like you are singing your heart out in that second, that moment. And I think that is, to me, probably the biggest difference, and something that people enjoy seeing. I could be totally wrong about that.
I think
but
there was a
No.
drum fill on one of the songs that you did that's not on the record, and people were like, "Oh my god, I love this so much.
Mhm.
I wish he would do this every time." Is that just something you kind of just felt in the moment? You're like, "All right, let's do it."
Depending on the one that you're talking about, sure. Like
Okay.
maybe I just felt it. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, exactly. Like drum fills, guitar parts, just stuff comes out of you when you're playing in the room in the moment that can't, like, once the record's done, it's like that's the way that it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Been going to therapy to get clarity, and apparently I'm not as hopeless as I thought, or as you thought. Shit. Who comes in with that lyric, and where does that really, like, I mean, we know where it comes from, obviously, but, like, is that something that you crafted in the room, or is that something that you had written that you came in with?
That one
that
we
actually
actually
Jeff.
crafted in the room, I think.
No. You came in with that one. You might. It was you. It's you.
It's you. The song's called "It's You."
Sorry, that was not intentional. But
That's
it was
nice.
definitely. I remember that one because we sat down and did the first verse all together, and then maybe, I don't know. Sometimes when you're in the room for too long, you can kind of start getting a little, like, spacey. But Jeff does a really good job at, like, putting his head down, and, like, he can crank out an entire verse in, like, 20 minutes, and that's pretty much what happened with that verse.
yeah, Jeff likes to do
He
this
likes-
thing where he goes outside and paces on
Yeah.
like whoever's house we're riding at. If they've got a back porch, a front porch, whatever, he's gonna leave the room. He's gonna walk outside and just go back and forth for a couple minutes, and then come in with, like,
Yeah.
some dope idea. And we're like, well, there it
Like,
is.
I don't think
Like,
we changed any
Alright.
word from that. He, like, brought it in, and he said that, and we were like,
cool. That's
all right,
awesome.
there's your verse. That's
I think we had
That
that
was
song without a second verse on it for a long
for
time
forever.
because we wrote the whole song with, and we just never put a second verse on it. So we were like recording it because we were at Jordan's.
We were at Jordan's studio. Jordan's our producer.
It was the last song, one of the last songs we finished. We went down to his beach house to, like, finish, like, the last two songs, and we were like, oh wait, we never wrote a second verse for this. Fuck.
We still need that.
Yeah, we could have just left it blank, but
Well, it was good.
Probably
It ended
better.
up being sick, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, I think it captured the entire point of the song really well, which is, like, I've been working really hard and starting to figure out, like I was saying earlier, like, figuring out that it's not, while I am not without flaw, like, I know that neither are you. You know, neither one of us is perfect in this situation, and I'm tired of being blamed for it, being the only person that takes the blame.
Real shit.
Mm.
Real shit. You gotta live it to be able to write it, no?
Yes, definitely.
definitely. Or like witness it. I think a lot of songs too come from, like, things I see friends going through. Because if it is all about what I was going through, or it would probably just be the same song over and over. But it helps to, like, put yourself in your friend's shoes when they're, like, going through some tough shit. You're like, damn.
Practice some empathy. It's kind of sick.
Get a record or two out of it.
Yeah,
Not too
man.
shabby. By the way, you can listen to The Dark on Amazon Music. Link in the description below. What are you thinking, Dan?
Do you guys feel the pressure of a sophomore album? I know it's a thing. Is that something you guys thought about when making this, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Definitely.
You're always worried that somebody's not going to, that every fan that you've ever made is going to be like, oh yeah, we all hate this and we're never going to come to another show again. Like that is a real feeling that we feel and talk about constantly. Like, especially after you haven't played a show in a while and you put some stuff up on sale, and the day before you're just like, man, I really wonder if anybody's going to come to this. And then it ends up being fine usually so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially with the music, like, you just don't want to. You want to please people because they've spent so much time listening to you, and, you know, they're the fans, so you want to please them, but also you want to create in the way that you've been creating and not always just running over the same sort of topics. So it's a hard line to toe.
But as long as you keep your music relevant to who you are, shouldn't you never be afraid of duplicating it?
Yeah.
that's the idea.
Yeah. Which I feel like for this record, like you said, the sophomore album pressure, and it kind of just, like, you know, the music industry is exhausting. And when you are just an artist and you're just like, oh, I have all these big dreams and I'm going to do this and I'm going to make music. And then you kind of get into it and realize, like, how, you know, how much goes into it and how many people there are and, like, how many, you know, it is a very, like, it can be exhausting to like, you know, play the music industry game. But it's like I kind of have to talk myself out of the fact that I'm even in it. I'm like, this isn't my game. I'm just doing what I love doing. And there are people that are, you know, behind the scenes doing all kinds of things, making it happen. But like at the end of the day, I just like writing songs. So hopefully people keep liking them. If not, it's been a good run.
I mean, you can still keep writing them and releasing them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a democratized music system.
It is. Yeah.
Last I checked, it's pretty crazy.
It is crazy. Anyone can put a song out.
Yeah, no
At
rules.
any time. There's no rules.
So
It's
fuck.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
Definitely.
Clutter.
I mean, I've seen a lot of your fans saying that this new album so far sounds like more of the old stuff, specifically Try Hard. Would you agree with that? And what in your eyes, what does that mean?
I would agree in the way that we're going back to it being like heavily electric guitar driven in a way that we used to describe it back when we were making Try Hard was we're a rock band that writes pop songs. So trying to keep that marriage together, trying to make sure that that's, you know, we're staying true to that. And also, I mean, you know, we learned so much making the self-titled, and we had a lot more time to go down a lot more rabbit holes with that one, because like Jeff said, we were out in the desert for for a full month and a half, and it's easy to overdevelop songs and make decisions based off of completely your own, like you've been sitting in the same room for 30 days, like you just don't know when to be done with it. And with this one, we set like much more specific and hard deadlines for ourselves, which we have to be focused and we have to find a way to finish them on time and them all sound cohesive and all that stuff. So,
Which it took us like 6 months longer than we set the
still took us
deadline we set.
forever.
But yeah, I think we definitely had a conversation going into this album of like, yo, let's channel some more Try Hard vibes, because I think we definitely, you could feel the energy. We just signed a record deal where like our dreams are coming true. We have to we want to get this out really soon, yada yada yada, and like every song is just like there's just like this urgency to it, and I feel like the self-titled just didn't have that. It was more like, yo, here we are. We're making music. We're chilling. We just had a whole year and a half to do nothing, and here's our album. It was like, and we're so proud of it. And I still go back and listen to that album, but definitely didn't have this like, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, that urgent energy.
Urgency. It was like, it was a little more easy listening, which I'm a huge fan of. But this one, I think, it has that kind of like, you know,
Teeth.
The people want urgent.
maybe we're gonna see.
I think they like it live, and we gear a lot of our stuff to the live show, and we really we want people to sing along. Like See Through and Daphne are still songs that are at the very end of our set, because we know they're always going to be huge energy plays, and that's what we want people to leave the room feeling, is they want to, you know, just that fun, upbeat.
Yeah. We often go
Sing along.
into a writing room like with the intent being like, what do we need for live? Like, how would this, you know, come across live? We like writing for our live set, and obviously, you know, lyrical content comes with that day of what we're writing. But like in the back of, I believe, all three of our minds, we're always thinking about like, man, how's this gonna go off live? Like, you know, we think about that.
Will you test songs in your set?
Say that one more time.
Will you test a song in your set?
We did in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, songs that we're like not sure if we're gonna record or not.
Or not.
We
released.
haven't like in a long time. We definitely back in the day played plenty of songs that never ended up coming out, but now it's so hard to pick a set list, because, you know, as a fan, you go to a show, you want to hear the songs you know, so it's like, okay, we can play some of these new songs for sure. We want to play a bunch of new songs, but, you know, what's the line of, you hate going to an artist and they play like, you know, all like not the songs you want to hear. I'm like, yo, like, this isn't about you. This is about me. Play what I want to hear.
So that's the right way to make a set list, though. Like,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
obviously
For the
there's some
audience.
selfish moments for us, but you know, you got to pick those and we want to play this. You know, it's definitely not like the most streamed song ever, but it means a lot to us, and we're gonna play it. Cool. but no, we'll do one for you. We'll play. You know, 'cause sometimes you go to a show and an artist doesn't even play their biggest song. I'm like, I mean, I get it. That's kind of ballsy, but also like, come on,
No, it's annoying.
give it to me. Like, come on.
Drake plays like 40 songs on his current tour, and I was looking at the set list, and I was like, the one song I was looking for, Just Hold On, We're Going Home, it's not there. I'm like, you got 40 songs in there. You can squeeze that
You
one
can
in.
fit it. Yeah.
You can fit it in there, Drake.
Yeah.
Give me a medley.
Exactly.
We might do a medley on this tour.
We've thought about it.
But it's not a traditional medley. Just kind of, we're just gonna do like a stripped moment where we just kind of like off the cuff, maybe do a couple little things. We're like piano boys at heart, so we all three started with piano lessons. So I can like only write ballads. Like when I'm actually writing the song, it's so hard for me to write a song that's like up tempo. I just like writing on piano and writing something that sounds so slow and sad, and then taking it to the guys, or like putting it into session and then turning it into.
But isn't that like the sign of like a great song? Something that can be played totally stripped back and still hold up?
Yep.
That's what I tell myself.
I think that holds true for sure. If you can grab an acoustic guitar or a piano and the song is as convincing as you hoped it would be, that's the sign of a great tune.
Totally. By the way, listen to The Dark. There's a link in the description below. It's waiting for you. What are you thinking, Daniel?
Was the plan from day one always to have both you guys singing, or did that just happen?
It's kind of a plan. It also kind of happened. I remember when, Spencer and me were playing together in kind of different bands and stuff before we started Band CAMINO, and there was a time where we were doing Jeffrey Jordan Band, which was like my terrible Americana project.
It was not terrible. You had some really good songs. Why can't I go back and listen to that? Jeffrey
yeah.
Jordan.
I was making country music before I met Spencer, so he changed me. He showed me. He showed me a couple things.
We just swapped out the slide guitar for like a regular electric guitar, and that's pretty much it.
But
I mean, you don't talk about trucks as much anymore.
Yeah,
not as
we should go
much.
back to that.
There's not in the music. I mean, in real life, plenty, but
Yeah,
It's giving Memphis.
definitely. A lot of Tennessee going on.
definitely giving Tennessee boy.
If I looked at you from the neck up right now, you kind of look like a country star. You got the flow, the hat.
Yeah, but
The
the
Nashville.
necklace is a little,
Yeah, I keep it.
It's a little pansy. It's a nice
Yeah,
balance.
I have to- you
Whoa,
have
he's
to
sitting right
balance it out.
there.
No, it's giving
No,
queer. I
no,
like it.
I know. I that's yeah.
That's literally what you're going for.
I don't want to seem too like
What, country queer?
country boy. I can go country queer. Yeah,
Yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah.
working.
yeah. It's like there's a fine line where you can kind of be either, and it's like
Yeah.
You can be whatever you want to be.
exactly.
So
I just think where people could get either from me by looking at you, like people being like, the necklace helps kind of balance it out.
that's nice. Yeah, it's good.
I have a giant tattoo of a deer on my shoulder, so the necklace definitely helps.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How long ago did you get that?
That is so south.
Not that long ago. not long enough ago where I could like play it off like, oh, that was the old me. Like, no, it's new enough.
Within the last couple years.
What drives that? What motivates it? Was it when you took out?
No, it was just.
It was actually a good story.
We have a friend who's a tattoo artist, and he wanted to do like a bigger piece, and he was like, "Oh, I love doing like wildlife stuff." And I had this picture of this deer. I was like, "This deer looks cool. Like I'm from Tennessee. Like
Keep in mind,
Put Bambi on my back.
Yeah.
keep in mind, he only does big pieces. So Jeff,
I have all these like little tattoos which are like the size of this, and he came in and was like trying to do a full sleeve like outdoor like
What
deer, and so like it ended up being just like down to here. We met in the middle, but like
his entire bicep is a deer.
I'm so confused. Why would you ever donate your body to somebody who's just want to do? He's so selective on his. He does.
well,
he's
I think at the time
really niche.
he does like black and white realism, and it's so good. It
Garrison
looks crazy.
has
his
Yeah,
entire
multiple
his
arm and
entire sleeve
legs.
and his entire leg is this guy Bubba Irwin. Shout out Bubba Irwin.
Love you, Bubba.
He won the TV show Ink Master, so he's like amazing, and he
Oh,
has
cool.
a shop in Nashville, a shop in Phoenix, and he loves music, and so we'll go in there and we'll just like I'll like play him demos and he'll tattoo us, so it's fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So now you have
He's
a
so
deer
good.
on you.
Yeah, a good deer on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And he's got a whole
He does.
sleeve of Greek
Mhm.
Greek
I got, like,
mythology.
I got a horse.
Wow.
I got Zeus. And then this whole leg is a bunch of other shit. But
Damn.
dude, he's the man. He is the man. Very good at what he does.
I was talking this morning randomly about my friend who got a sleeve one time and hated it and wanted to cut his arm off for like a year and a half. Swear to
You
God.
can
That's
do-
tough.
Good.
Swear
that's
to-
not what you're gonna want.
Yeah, it was rough.
Do you have tattoos?
No.
None.
I'm gonna get one soon.
What are you gonna get?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Tell them what you want.
I mean,
Come on.
I have like one
You
that I
know.
really want.
You want me
You
to tell
know.
them, or do you want to tell them?
No, I want the outline of the state of New Jersey, but as a pizza.
That's great.
Hell
love
yeah.
that.
Think about it. You
Think
know?
about
It's
it.
no
Kinda just
deer,
like-
but like,
What
Hey,
kind of pizza?
It's all about where you're from, though.
I mean, I just want it to be like, I want you to look at it and be like, oh, that's New Jersey, but as a slice of pizza.
You be pepperoni pizza or?
Whatever gives pizza.
What identifying features of like New Jersey?
Trippy. I mean, to look like
So-
the outline in
Mostly
New
the
Jersey.
shape, yeah.
Yeah, It
But it's
kind
gonna
of
be
looks like a
the
pizza.
cheese
pizza.
dripping off of it. Is that?
Yeah. Like I want it to be crust. I have an image in my head, but I haven't had somebody draw it yet.
Okay,
I'll commission somebody when I'm ready.
Cool.
I'll let you know.
got it.
We need to see
Solid.
it.
Where
Yeah,
you,
Whenever
where are
you
you
have
gonna
it
get
commissioned.
Oh, well, my body. I haven't decided.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe
Some choices to
right
make.
over my heart.
Perfect.
Imagine that'd be fucking horrendous.
It'd be
I don't know.
incredible.
It'd be kind
I
of
don't
sick.
know. I'm kind of into it.
Okay, got it. Good to know.
I think
If I
you'd
put
hate
it over my heart, I will actually never find a partner, and I'm already having enough of a fucking problem.
I don't
Or
know.
maybe you'll find the one
Maybe you'll
perfect.
find the perfect partner.
I would argue that.
Okay, well, that's a decent argument.
Yeah.
One that has really
Just
no
follow your heart and
no
be
merit.
yourself, you know. And
The perfect
That's
person who
it's
loves
gonna
that
happen.
tattoo.
It's all that matters.
Yeah.
Mm.
Guys,
how did we get on? Like,
I was-
we were country. We ended up at country.
I was
It
just I don't think you answered the question about why you both sing.
That's
yeah,
how
we
we
got
got
it.
here.
Let's go back
That's
there.
how we got here. I was trying to backtrack. So anyway, we were doing my country music, whatever. I met Spencer. He started showing me different music. I was like, oh my god, there's way more music than country music. I grew up super like Christian music too, so I was like in this bubble of like country was like my rebellious phase. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna listen to secular music and I'm gonna buy a truck. It's over. So I was ready. And so then I met Spencer. And my music taste changed a lot. And then he was like, we should start a band. And he was like, but I love to sing too. Could we both sing? And I was like, dude, yes. And so then it kind of just like fell into place. And there's certain songs that we've actually never had like a, which maybe we should. Maybe we need to care more. We've never had like a huge fight over like who's singing what.
Yeah, I think we should fight more.
I agree.
That's healthy.
I think so. We don't really like fight. We definitely get on each other's nerves when we're like in the van and stuff. We were just at a Europe tour in a van, and it was like,
Ooh.
it was a little stinky, but
Yeah, Van.
we got through it.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just when you put your headphones in and you just.
Don't talk to anyone.
Zen.
Weren't you guys playing arenas with Dan and Shay?
Uh-huh.
So you go from arenas to back to the van?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Humbling, huh?
Humbling. And then we're going to 2 buses in the fall for our US tour. So it's like we're in one van with like every seat filled for like a month over there, and like driving ourselves with like a stick shift van on the wrong side of the road, like nearly avoiding death for an entire month. And then coming over here and it's like, oh wow, well now we did a 300 cap room in Poland, and now we're going to do a 6,000 cap room in Nashville. So it's like
Sick.
cool. We probably should go to the UK more and build that business, but
Shout out to the
That's a good
70
idea.
people. Shout out to the 70 people in Warsaw, Poland. You guys
Yeah.
rock. You guys rock.
There's probably something fun about those shows, though.
Very
so fun.
Very
So fun.
Yeah.
It felt-
Reminiscent to the Delta Fair.
exactly. It's so much like the beginning. It's like it's nice to, and you're also with all new people, and you haven't. We're the only two that got to feel it the first time that are still around from the. I guess. Well, from like from the shows that there were only like 11 people at. I think that's me and Jeff still hold on to that one, but.
Yeah. I hopped in the van with you guys in 2018.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm. A lot of
we all have the stories of playing in front of 5 people, just different bands.
Different bands,
Different
yeah,
for
bands.
sure.
But yeah, no. The van was live for the first few years I joined the guys, and it was a good time, a real good time. Loved it.
Where would this band be if you guys never met Garrison, that one random party you met him at?
That is such a good question.
That is a really good question.
I think that's a question for you guys, because
Not a
I
good
don't know.
place. No, we always say Garrison saved the band Camino because we'd been through a couple drummers, and like we have like a few fallen soldiers along the way, and me and Spencer have been kind of the the 2 singers and 2 like the main storytellers. It's been our baby since the jump, and then so like trying to meet someone who wasn't there for those first couple years, but also like feels like a brother and feels like he has a similar story to tell and a similar passion for why we do what we do is like, it's a hard thing to find. And so I don't know where we'd be, Probably sad.
It wouldn't
Probably
be.
still looking.
Yeah, probably so.
I'm still looking for Garrison. Yeah. But we met him at a 4th of July. We moved to Nashville. We've been there like 3 weeks, and me and Spencer were living together. We had a 4th of July party, and we were grilling out, just like whoever. We just kind of made some new friends in Nashville, so we just invited like the 20 people that we knew, and Garrison came with some. Who'd you come with? I guess someone invited you.
Yeah, I don't remember who invited me, but I got the invite.
Came through.
Like, all right.
He had some Budweisers in hand.
Mhm. Yeah, I walk up. Keep in
Beautiful
mind, I don't
moment.
know either of these guys yet. And I walk up to the backyard with my butt heavy and like a pack of hot dogs, and Jeff is outside shirtless, with an apron on, grilling hot dogs. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
I think I know.
Like,
Which apron was it?
It's
Is it the Will Cook for
It's
Sex?
Will Cook for Sex.
Yes, yes.
I remember that.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, all right, cool,
Nice.
cool guys. But party goes on.
And then we basically, having some beers, a bunch of people were over, and we had just set up like a rehearsal, like set up in our basement. And so we heard someone playing the drums, and we go downstairs, and a bunch of our friends were just jamming, and like someone was on bass and guitar, and Garrison was on the drums, just looking like the man. And we were like,
Got to lay it down, you know.
and then we were like, we should ask this guy if he wants to jam.
Yeah, from my
Jam.
perspective, I was jamming with two good friends of ours in Nashville, and then they had this like staircase that goes down to the basement, and then obviously door frame, and I just see like two little heads like stick out, do that, and I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I got the gig, cool.
His unofficial audition.
I'm in.
What are the chances?
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
really
feel like
think
a lot
that's
of
it.
people, I know some people who would love to be in a band, or like, maybe, because I don't even think I've always loved bands, and there's been part of me that wanted to be in a band, but it was never like I was like searching to be in a band. I was just making music and found people that I loved making music with so badly that was like, well, we should make this a thing because this is awesome. And I think that's so rare to find those people in your life that you could actually like not only start a band with, but like be business partners and bandmates and roommates and spend every day in the bus with or the van. It's a very rare kind of compatibility to find that. So
Yeah.
we looked out.
Thanks, Garrison.
We did
Thanks.
it, boys. Good
Thanks,
work.
brother.
That was 5 years ago, so I'd say we're doing pretty good.
We're still alive.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's really what matters.
That's what matters. Yeah.
You can listen to The Dark. There's a link in the description below. Also, all of the band Camino's music is waiting for you on Amazon. Your era of like visuals, you go through like quite the album cover phase. Like your first album covers give Tumblr, then they give like yellow and reds, and then they get real cold again.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Kind of just taste changing. I think we were in that definite like everything's gonna be black and white. Everything's gonna be a square. Everything's gonna be super like the Tumblr era. Yeah.
Those
That
were like
was just-
the dying, not the I guess it's not really dead, but like that's when it was slowly tapering off, and like Instagram was at its peak.
Also, when you don't know, or when you don't have any budget or any body to take photos or videos or to edit anything, like doing that style is really easy. It's very like you can put a black and white filter and put a square and put a border around it, and it's like our Instagram looked like so curated, but it was just like we didn't really know what other options we had.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, we're Visco boys. Yeah.
The 3-month hangover. What does that mean?
That was one of the first songs I wrote, like, kind of about my breakup with everybody. We were co-writing. It was all three of us and
Yep. Goldstein.
Goldstein and Jordan. So there was like 5 of us in a session, and I had the title just like hangover, like something. You're still like hanging over me, and some kind of like something about a hangover, and we were like kind of just fleshing that out. But it was like 3 months after my breakup, so it was like 3 months, and I'm still hungover, And we just made all the comparisons of heartbreak to a hangover. Basically wrote itself.
So it is. I get that. It is. Yeah. So it is. It's another heartbreak record, but like, yeah, something just hanging on to you.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to get over somebody, or do you ever get over somebody?
That's a good question. I've heard people say that this is like something I heard when I was going through it. It was like, oh, it usually takes like, a fourth of the time that you're with them to get over them. I'm like, who made that fact? But maybe that's true. Maybe not. But I don't know. I think every thing that you go through that you really feel and you really deeply kind of have to learn to let go of or whatever, you probably never get over it in a way. At least for me. Always carry that with you.
Yeah, because it mattered. Yeah. Listen to the album. What are you thinking?
I think 3 Month Hangover, is that the only song on the album that's over 3 minutes?
Probably.
I
Possibly.
haven't thought about that.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's so funny. I didn't realize how short the album was, but I did. I was able to listen to the whole thing in my commute this morning.
Sweet.
Sick.
How long's your commute?
Like maybe this morning, like 28 minutes, something like that. 30-something minutes. 25.
Damn.
I think the album's it's got to be around a half an hour.
Wow.
Probably so.
I didn't realize it was that short either.
Is there a reason everything's under 3 minutes, or do you not? I guess you didn't realize that
No,
until now.
I didn't even realize.
Mm-mm.
No, I definitely know 3 Month Hangover is one of the longer ones because we have like the whole jam and the bridge and the outro.
Yeah, that song I wrote down. I think it's 3:02. So I think the longest song is 3:02.
Wow.
Well,
From
there
what
it
we were
is.
saying,
Look at
maybe
us.
it's not.
We were just getting to the point, I guess. You know.
Not messing around.
Yeah, like
Straight.
here it is. We got this is it.
No
Yeah.
fluff.
No fluff. Here's the song.
I do love a gang vocal. Save My Life has a gang vocal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We were trying to go for the choral thing.
Super anthemic.
Yeah. That was the idea.
That's our One Direction inspired moment.
It's giving that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well
Yeah.
done.
They were pretty big.
Yeah, heard of them?
Yeah. Ever heard of them?
Nope.
There's only this Harry Styles thing right behind you. So
Oh, yeah, it's a big one.
I don't want to brag, but yeah, I have a fine line plaque. Did we help a few songs go number one? Maybe. No, just don't ask me about it anymore. It's fine. We're moving on. I need to take it the fuck down. I don't know. It's still behind me. To be honest, I'm going to take it to my house. We're going to set up. I have a Hard Rock Cafe opening in my backyard.
no way.
Sweet.
That's just going to house all the memorabilia shit that we've
Perfect,
been given over
yeah.
the years.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you can come and look at more Harry Styles plaques.
Okay, cool.
We'll have a burger. It'll be great.
But by the way, he is a big deal. One Direction's a big deal. But do you find yourself still emanating artists like you did early?
Definitely
all?
pulling inspiration from different artists all the time. Like I think even with Spencer wrote "Save My Life," like when I heard it, I was like, oh, we should lean into this like One Direction kind of style of the vocal, just how it is that gang vocal choiry moment. Like, it reminded me of when I heard it because I didn't write it, so it's like cool hearing stuff when someone else writes it and you can kind of hear it fresh for the first time. It gave me like 4 album vibes from One Direction, which was my favorite One Direction album.
Thanks, man.
Taste.
This is a pretty unprofessional of me, but I have to pee
No,
so
it's-
bad.
We're about to wrap this
Like,
up.
can
Too
I?
many Capri Suns.
Can I?
dude.
Yeah, the Capri Sun's
Gotta get
going through me.
Final thoughts? Are you good?
Let's talk about Novocaine quickly.
Okay.
Mike,
You gotta hold it. This is your
I
challenge.
have been.
All right, keep going.
Sorry, I didn't.
Go pee. I get it.
It's like they're in the backyard right now, so you might as well just let them pass the fence.
No, let them do their thing. Yeah.
The dogs are out.
Yeah, we're talking about we got on the Birkenstocks again.
Guys, I could talk for like 2 hours now. Let's go.
Let's restart.
I feel really good.
We didn't even get into Novocaine, so it's all
Okay,
good.
cool.
Yes, we did. It's written about your dentist.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's-
Yeah.
oh, okay, sorry. We actually went through the whole thing.
That's all you need to
Cool.
know.
So that's it.
His name's Dr. Wilson.
Dude, love Dr.
I
Wilson.
did know that you wanted to know that.
Thank you.
Novocaine was it was kind of we inspired. We try to copy ourselves, kind of because See Through is like our most. It's one of our most hype songs live, and it's just like it kind of makes sense. It makes sense to us, but it's just a bunch of words. It's more of just a feeling, and you can yell them. You want to yell them aggressively, and we just wanted something else like that that just had a bunch of words and something chanty. Which I didn't write this song, so I'm kind of just talking out of my ass. But
No. That's we said this the other day. It's like we were trying to write. There was like a 2-week period where we were trying to write. We literally called it See Through 2. We were trying to write
See-Through
a second
2.
See Through.
Why was that? Why did you?
Just-
why that song?
Because live, it just like you were saying
Because-
earlier, it's just one of the ones that for what people really gravitate to that one. So we were just trying to find that feeling and emulate that sort of wordy chorus where people are like blurring it all together, and
there's something feral about
it's
it.
definitely different. It's definitely way different, and the subject is obviously way different. But
Yeah, feeling down bad, uptight, sticking to my hard line. Tell me that I'm all right. Lay it up.
There you go.
and
But
a
again,
little-
it's also like it's kind of vague, but it's like kind of not. So we like to open it up for interpretation for people. And then obviously at the very end, it's like I'm feeling for the first time. It's about meeting somebody that after being in a place where you haven't necessarily wanted to meet anybody and you're still trying to work through previous heartbreak or just general existential life stuff and shutting off your feelings a little bit and you getting more into your head, and then meeting somebody where at a time where you weren't expecting to meet somebody and feel those things, and you're like, I'm feeling for the first time in a long time or again or ever, and being afraid of that and feeling like you need something to offset that feeling of that new, just pure unbridled like emotion, you know.
You got to listen to The Dark, and you can listen to Novocaine and all the other songs we're talking about. They're waiting for you. Link in the description below. Final thoughts, Daniel?
It's all you.
You need to know about Novocaine. You got your answer? Are you fed?
Yeah,
You feel fed?
I feel great.
Beautiful.
How do you guys feel?
I feel pretty
so
good.
Yeah, I think we ate today.
Pretty
for
chill.
Sure.
I think we did. We had some really good. In your green room, there was a
Ooh.
these. What were they?
Moon cheese?
Oh, yeah. Did you get some charcuterie?
We didn't.
We
I didn't see the
rich.
charcuterie.
Dude.
Was there a charcuterie board
I
out
think
there?
actually no. We passed it on the way
Yeah.
to the green room, I think.
We were more interested in the bags of chips.
Yeah, the bags of
Oh,
process. You know, we like processed stuff
Yeah.
way better anyway.
Got it. Enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From me to you, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for-
you so much
thanks
for having
having
us.
Yeah, I appreciate the three of you. You guys are fucking great. And listen to The Dark. Again, link in the description below. The Band Camino, everybody.
Let's go. Thank you.